Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher this week is Charles Eisenstein, and I have quite a long piece to share, so I'll get right into it. Today's journey takes us through our relationships with the people around us and the world at large. It has become clear that our survival self is primed to discriminate. The most primitive part of our brain is hardwired for survival and ready to cast suspicion on anything and anyone that seems different or not from our tribe. Beatrix, a very good morning. Somebody, good morning. Hello. I grew up in a time during which in South Africa the word discrimination became the ultimate insult. And it was associated with the bad guys, the old government and their evil worldview. I really love humans, and I'm forever a student of how we develop and what makes us do the things that we do. And I have learned that discrimination is not just what the bad guys do. We are all capable of it. In fact, to discriminate in some way or form is probably our default setting. Anthony, good evening. Great seeing you, dude. Hello. Our survival self is primed to discriminate. We have an ancient and inherent need for survival from a long time ago when almost any stranger we'd come across would pose an existential threat. Charlene, good morning. Michelle, good morning. Great seeing you. Hello. Like any stranger? Yes. There was a time when anyone from your own tribe would naturally be known to you, but anyone you do not know would therefore be from another tribe. Coming across any stranger would have set off all the alarm bells. We live in a much different world today. If you were to go out to the grocery store today, how many strangers would you encounter? And how many of them would legitimately pose as threats? Probably none of them, but we still carry this same ancient programming, this knee-jerk discrimination that divides people into tribe and other in order to establish our own safe in-group in opposition to the unsafe out-group. We have this instinct in common with all animals, and therefore it's clear that while this is at times necessary for our survival, this is part of our lower nature. Maggie, good morning. Danae, good morning. Hello, beautiful humans. And then here is how we are different from our animal friends. We have the ability to transcend our lower nature, to see beyond just our own survival and reach for the greater good of all. I realize that every time I point a finger and create an us versus them, I am a part of the problem. I am contributing to the division in the world. This doesn't necessarily make the trouble in the world any easier to deal with, but it leaves me with only one option. And I really like this one option it leaves me with. The only option left to me is to ask the question, how do we do this together? How do we do this better? We're never going to build a better world while trying to leave anyone behind. The only way this works is if we are able to open our hearts and also reach the hearts of those who we completely disagree with. I'm not trying to say it's easy, but it's the only option I have left open for myself, and I'm really comfortable with that. So a few thoughts from Charles Eisenstein on this topic before we dive into today's meditation. The first thought is, we have to create conditions where people feel safe to feel and to care. That goes against a lot of our programming about how to make something change in the world. Sometimes you can pressure people into changing, you can force them, but the powers that be have more force than we do. I don't think we're going to win in a contest of force. I think we need to induce a change of heart. The narrative of us versus them is ultimately part of the problem. Traditional activism, which is about overcoming the latest bad guy, just doesn't go deep enough. It just brings us another version of the same. Annalie, very good morning. Hello. And I'm hoping I can say hello to Dylan as well. Good morning. It's great seeing you here. The next thought from Charles Eisenstein is, when both sides of a controversy revel in the defeat and the humiliation of the other side, in fact, they're both on the same side. They're both on the side of war. They're both on the side of fighting. The last thought before we get started is, are the problems in the world caused by bad people who need to be crushed? Or do people do bad things when they are in a certain situation? If it's the latter, then we can go around crushing the villains for another 1,000 years and nothing will change. Linda, good morning. It's great seeing you. Hello. Today's meditation journey takes a look at the humans around us and the world at large and forces us to ask the question, can I recognize that in this human there's something very similar to me? There's someone just trying to figure out a way to survive. Can I recognize in this human just another soul having a human experience? Today's meditation is called TONGLEN. If you're ready, you can close your eyes and we will float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale. And let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn deep inside your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine. Lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. Continue your full body breathing. With every inhale, feel your body rise. With every exhale, slowly feel your body fall. While we have a conversation about us versus them, I'll go through this thought again. There was a time when, depending where in the world you lived, and certain over different time periods, it might have been different in different parts of the world, but for the most part, there was a time when only tribe was safe. In other words, these people who you know represented safety. And anyone unknown would be from a different tribe and therefore unsafe. We have not lost that programming yet. And of course, to some extent, the world can be a dangerous place. Depending on where you are and where you're moving about, you might in fact need to have your wits about you. Look around and know what's happening around you, because sometimes we do need to protect ourselves. But then we risk falling into the trap of living our lives in opposition to the world around us. Living our lives with a charged nervous system that's ready to fight. How do you balance this? How do you balance a very real need for self-protection with an open heart and a soft nervous system that refuses to turn the world into a battle of us versus them? Because every time we find ourselves in that mindset, it's me against the world, we find ourselves in an unhealthy place that takes a toll on the health of this body. So there might be no easy answer to this, but a question you need to ask yourself again and again. How do I balance this? I need to, in reality, protect myself, balanced with the willingness to be open and soft and refuse to be us versus them. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, forward and to the right. Deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. See if you're able to tilt your head to the left while you tilt your hips to the right, curving your spine into an S from your head down to your tailbone. And then switch sides. Tilt your head to the right and your hips to the left. Can you switch it again and again? One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least become as present as we possibly can be right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you're not able to join us for the whole meditation, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips into your body and how softness settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. As you release, feel yourself melting, feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender With every slow exhale, you can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, the reminder is our journey is about looking at the humans around us, looking at the world around us, and asking ourselves the question, are we turning the world around us into us versus them? Take your next big breath. Our journey of TONGLEN takes us through looking at the humans around us. And let me just mention, this is an old Buddhist meditation. Looking at the humans around us and imagining we could inhale their dark clouds, breathe in their pain and suffering, hold it in our bellies for a few moments and feel how some alchemy happens, turning their pain and suffering into love and light, and breathing out into their space, love and light. Our journey starts closest to home. So where we'll start is bring to your mind the people that you share a home with, or the people that you used to share a home with. And they can be alive and well right now, or they could have passed on already. The same exercise works equally well. Bring these people together in your mind, see them. You can do the exercise for the whole group, or perhaps just for whoever stands out to you today. As you take your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, see yourself breathe in the dark clouds that they may have been struggling with. Breathe those dark clouds all the way deep into your belly. And as you hold that inside your belly, feel what happens when those dark clouds come in contact with your love. Feel how it warms up in your belly, how it turns into bright light. And when you exhale, breathe into their space, love and light, and see their faces light up when they recognize the light around them. Take your next big breath. Are you able to be the soul who recognizes another soul having a human experience? We'll make the circle slightly bigger. Bring all your close family into the circle. There are, of course, your parents, your siblings. There are your grandparents, your uncles and aunts, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews. Bring this group of humans together in your mind, see the whole group, and do the exercise either for everyone in the group or for whoever stands out to you today. As you breathe in, see yourself inhale their dark clouds. Breathe it all the way deep down into your belly. And as you hold their dark clouds for a moment, feel what happens when it comes in contact with the love that you are. Feel how these dark clouds are turned into bright light in the warmth of your belly. And as you exhale, see yourself breathe light into the space around them and watch their faces as they recognize this light. Take your next big breath. Then we'll make the circle slightly bigger. Include everyone you know in this circle. All of your friends. It's a big circle now. All of your colleagues, the friends of some of your family members that you know as well, your children's friends, their teachers, perhaps even clients. Bring all of these people together in a group. Look at all of their faces And do the exercise either for the whole group together or for whoever it is that stands out for you today. As you breathe in, see yourself. Inhale their dark clouds, whatever it is that they might be dealing with right now. Breathe it deep into your belly, and as you hold those dark clouds in your belly for a moment, feel what happens when those dark clouds come in contact with your love. Feel the warmth in your belly, transform it into bright light. And as you exhale, breathe into the space around them, love and light from your heart. And see their faces light up as they recognize the light. Take your next big breath. Can you be the soul that recognizes another soul having a human experience? Now let's make the circle very big. We often are so in our own bubbles that we don't recognize all of the strangers and their bubbles around us, but sometimes we do. Sometimes we literally sit in our bubble at the traffic lights and look at the humans around us all in their own bubbles. All of us on our own mission, or walk in a shopping center and have a moment of recognition of these humans, each doing their own thing, each dealing with their own stuff, brushing shoulders. So make the circle as big as you can. Include all of the faces without names that you brush shoulders with. It could be the cashier, the waiter, the waitress, the security guard, all of the strangers. Bring them together in a very big group. Perhaps there is someone you share space with regularly that comes to mind specifically. Then do it for that person. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, see yourself breathe in all of their dark clouds. Breathe it deep into your belly, hold it there for a moment and feel what happens when those dark clouds come in contact with your love. Feel the warmth in your belly as it turns into light. And as you exhale, breathe light into their space and see their faces recognize the light. Take your next big breath. Rumi reminded us, recognize the wearer, not the cloak. cloak is something that is worn momentarily, but when the cloak is dropped, the wearer will continue. Can you recognize the wearer, not just the cloak? We have one more. This circle, this group of special human beings, each showing up as radiant light for the world around them, yet each dealing with their own stuff too. Take a moment and inhale the dark clouds that anyone in this circle might be dealing with. And if anyone specifically comes to mind, then yes, focus on that one. And breathe into this circle, into this space, love and light. Take your next big breath. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath-holding space and into the next. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I'll read to you one more time Charles Eisenstein's suggestion for how we look at the world around us, how we try and deal with a world that feels like it's in turmoil. He says, we have to create conditions where people feel, safe to care. And that goes against a lot of our programming about how to make something change in the world. Sometimes you can pressure people into changing, you can force them, but the powers that be have more force than we do. I don't think we're going to win in a contest of force. I think we need to induce a change of heart. The narrative of us versus them is ultimately part of the problem. Traditional activism, which is about overcoming the latest bad guy, just doesn't go deep enough. It just brings us another version of the same. He beautifully says, and I love this so much, when both sides of an issue revel in the defeat and the humiliation of the other side, and we see this so much all the time, one side can't wait to see the humiliation in the other side, then they are in fact both on the same side. They're both on the side of war. Are the problems of the world created by bad people who need to be crushed? Or do people sometimes do bad things when they are in a certain situation? If it's the latter, then we can go around crushing the villains for another 1,000 years and nothing will change. I sometimes have this image in my mind of one group of people throwing stones at another group of people, believing that they are on the right side because I'm fighting for a just cause. The other group is wrong, and throwing stones at them is how we try and defeat them. And both groups feel the same. And when we zoom out and look at both groups from a distance, we can't tell them apart. Whatever they believe in, right or wrong. Each person throwing their stone is just in a gang, throwing stones. It's not always easy to know how to deal with the turmoil in the world. But what's clear is, we make nothing better by throwing stones. Can we start with our own hearts and give ourselves a change of heart and refuse to contribute to a world of us versus them? We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for this beautiful message from Charles Eisenstein. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning to see all the humans around me as another soul having a human experience. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to listen to the human, but speak to the soul. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for recognizing so many humans that refuse to participate in us versus them. So many humans that insist on recognizing the soul, even if they have to have a boundary, even if they have to protect themselves. Still insist on speaking to the soul. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Almaray, good morning. It's great seeing you join us. Karin, good morning. Thanks for popping in. I hope you had some time to sit down with us. And another Karin. We got 2 Karins. Good morning. Great seeing you. Thank you, Anthony. Have a great morning. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Sunmarie. Thank you, Danae. Thank you, Beatrix. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Linda. Have yourselves a beautiful day. Thank you, Michelle. See you again soon. Ciao, ciao.